What are you doing in here?
I literally would have been like, it's a ghost!
See me again, don't you want to be myself? But if I was anybody to help them, see me again, don't you come off myself.
Oh, you done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep. Alright. I'll set it. Here.
This happened back when I was 15. It was the middle of summer, and at the time this took place, both of my parents were out of town on a 4-day-long business trip. I'm an only child, so this meant I had the house to myself. By the second night, I was pretty bored, so I figured I'd invite my friend Justin over to stay the night.
Okay.
I called him up, and he agreed. But by this point, it was already pretty late, so he said it might take him a while, because he didn't have a ride and would have to walk. Fast forward 30 minutes, and he arrived. We went up to my room and started playing Xbox. This probably went on for a couple hours, when Justin perked up and recalled a cave that he had stumbled upon while walking over here.
Okay.
I guess something in the game we were playing had somehow reminded him of it or something. I'm not really sure. And I had no reason not to believe him. We lived in a small town in the mountains, where caves are somewhat common.
Let me see.
He went on to suggest that we explore it. I was getting bored of playing Xbox, so 15-year-old me thought it was a good idea and agreed. Now, remember, this all occurred at night. The two of us went around the house looking for flashlights and anything else we thought we might need. We then headed out. I basically just followed Justin, trusting his guidance. Eventually, he took a sharp turn off the road and directly into the dense trees of the forest.
Oh, God.
Then, after a few minutes, we saw it. It was extremely hidden behind some trees. The mouth of the cave was pretty small. Think like a bit smaller than a doorway. We walked in, and we quickly discovered that other people had been here before. There were plastic bottles, chip bags, and other convenience store junk. As we
How do
walked
you
further
drain the
inside,
water?
we got hit with this horrible putrid...
What'd you say?
How do you drain the water?
I guess by just taking it and draining it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you put the noodles when you're done cooking them?
On the tray.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so what we know so far is that this kid and his friend Justin, they're 15, and they're going to explore a cave. Nothing could possibly go wrong. Right, Marshall?
No, they lost me at sharp right turn.
Into the dense woods.
Yeah.
Like, I love exploring some woods. I love the woods. The woods are cool. But, first of all, I would never go... Would you ever go cave exploring?
Maybe. In the daytime.
Because I know when you were in the Bahamas with your family, you went into that, like, bat cave or something.
And there were bats flying around. It was cool, but it was still daytime.
Yeah. I don't know. I could never do it. I just don't like being in dark places like that.
It wasn't too dark because there was a cave, but it had holes in it. So the light comes through.
Yeah. Okay. But you think you would? You would go cave exploring?
Yeah.
Like deep into a cave, like you could possibly get lost type exploring? Or like with a tour guide?
No, I couldn't go in there.
You couldn't go in alone? Like, okay, so like if it was something that was like regulated, like an amusement park and they had like just a cave and people went in together in a group. Okay, so I'm gonna put them in now. It's pretty hot, I think.
Is that enough water?
Yeah, I did exact measurements.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? I might not even drain them. I just might keep it soupy. I don't know.
That doesn't sound good.
You don't think it sounds good if I keep
No.
it soupy? Fine.
It's not meant to be that way.
I guess it isn't meant to. Oh, I have to put the fourth one in there.
Good. Now that one's gonna be cooked 4 seconds too early. Too late. Too early.
Too late.
Yeah.
Because these ones are too early. Okay, so I'm going to I have to put the flakes in with it. Oh yeah.
What flakes?
The flake bags. You gotta put the flakes in there in the water so that everything cooks. Okay. I do not have a garbage down below. I'm just throwing things on the floor.
You want me to grab you the garbage can?
No, I really wasn't gonna. I just forgot to get it. I can hand it to you if you want me to.
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go. Thank you. Alright, now I'm gonna put all the flakes in. So here's the, what is this? Jajang?
Wait.
What?
I thought that this says utility can. I thought it said utility chan.
What? Okay.
Like, utility chan.
That's hilarious.
I don't know. And then I saw like a nice little cute kawaii face on it.
Oh wow. So you just created a whole
yeah, because if I hear
character
like utility chan,
oh,
I was like, what a cute Wait a minute.
Okay, we're gonna get back into it and listen. They're in the cave.
Describing it in words wouldn't do it justice. Like it was actually that bad. We put our jackets over our noses and did our best to ignore it. My flashlight then revealed what looked to be the source. Lying against the wall of the cave was a large black garbage bag.
Okay.
Somewhere next to that was a makeshift
Would you ever
bed and
eat one of
multiple
those?
fast food bags.
Whatever you what?
The packet by itself.
No.
It's that spicy.
No, this isn't the spice. It's these. But
What's
these are
that?
uncooked. These are just the toppings and stuff that you're supposed to put in.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was the spice.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Which still had food inside. I started to panic a bit, realizing a homeless guy might be living here. Justin started to look at the fast food bags to see how fresh the food was. But that's when he noticed something. There was this photo album looking thing with a black cover. Justin opened the first page and shone his flashlight
Photo
on it.
album?
Before I even got a chance to look, he dropped it out of disgust. Dude, there are pictures of dead bodies in there. I almost didn't want to believe what he said, but I didn't want to look for myself. I was looking up at Justin when a blinding white flash lit up the entire cave for not but a split second. Both of our heads shot in the direction of the noise. We didn't dare shine our flashlights toward whatever it was.
No.
Instead, we turned around and ran back to the entrance.
Okay.
Literally as fast as we could go. When we got back outside, we made a break for the road. We didn't stop until we got back to my house. We locked all the doors and windows before discussing what exactly we had just witnessed. We agreed there had to have been someone in there with us.
Yeah.
Realistically, we knew that flash couldn't have been anything other than a camera flash.
Right.
The next morning, we called the police and reported what we saw. When they investigated the same cave, they found nothing but the plastic bottles, chip bags, and convenience store junk that we had found when we first entered.
Not the photo
They
album.
didn't find any makeshift bed, black trash bag, photo album, or most importantly, any person.
Well, why would
So,
they?
naturally, nothing came of it.
Who's been made?
Why whoever was in that cave felt the need to take our picture, I'll never know 100%.
Wow.
But the older I get, the more red flags the whole situation gives off. Like, what was in that black trash bag to give off such a putrid smell? Or why would there be an extremely graphic photo album?
Right.
All the people I've talked to agree that this was more than just a homeless guy living in a cave.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
So what do you
Why
think of
did
that
you let
first
him
story?
get it? First of all, now he has a picture of just two backs of some grown boys.
Right.
That's not satisfying.
Right.
If you're a killer.
Right.
And then, like, how did he not take... Like, if he was behind them when he took the picture,
Right.
and they had to turn around and run...
Right. They
They
turned
ran
in the
past
direction of
them.
the. No, they were facing. So they had their backs to him into the deeper part of the cave, and they were facing the exit, looking at the stuff. So this is the exit of the cave. This is them looking at the and this is him behind.
Oh, that's stupid then. You would take the picture when when they passed you.
Yeah, like when they get deeper.
Mm-hmm.
He played himself. Whatever he was trying to do, he couldn't do. That's why he let them get away. I don't even know why he took the picture of their backs. What would you do in that situation?
If I was in the cave?
Yeah, like if you and Trey went into the cave and were just exploring and you found a creepy, graphic pictures and photo album, and then all of a sudden some random person just takes a picture of you.
I would take the photo album and run away.
Ooh. You would get evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I wouldn't just run back to my house like an idiot.
Yeah, because they could be following
I would
you.
just run to the police station.
With the photo album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I wouldn't have thought of that. As much true crime, because they're 15. So if I'm looking at my 15-year-old self, I wasn't into true crime as much as I was into the paranormal. So I would have immediately thought it was a ghost. I wouldn't even. I wouldn't even thought
it's a ghost with a big camera head.
I wouldn't even thought of taking evidence, like this is a creepy man in a cave taking pictures of young girls. I literally would have been like, it's a ghost, and I would have ran.
That's already happened to me though.
What?
Well, not at a cave, but
Someone took a picture of you?
No, technically no, but like I ran into some weirdos.
Yeah.
Like one time, me and my friend were going into this house. It was abandoned. It was an abandoned psych hospital.
Yeah.
And me and my buddy kind of just like, we decided to go in. And we crawled through the vent.
Mm-hmm.
And I went first, and he was behind me. And we crawled through this little vent, very tiny. You can't fit past it, so it's one by one.
Yeah.
And I get inside, and I stand up. He's still crawling through the vent. And he has a head through at this point. And I look around, I'm in this room that has like dust everywhere. It's a white hospital looking type room. And there's a bathroom. The door was open.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. So I start walking in, I'm like, hello?
Yeah.
Then I hear grunting.
Yeah.
And this guy comes out of the bathroom. It's a homeless man. And he was like, what are you doing in here? And I was like, sorry, sir. Me and my buddy, we're here. And then I turn around, and he's not there. He left me in there with this man.
Your friend left?
Yeah, he ran.
Do I know this friend?
No.
Oh, it was a person I never met. I thought it was... I would have been like, of course you would leave.
No. He left. So I turn around, he's gone. He's like, you should not be in there.
Right.
Like all mean. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm leaving now. And I go, and I climb out the vent the same way I came in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already out, and I see him running back with this giant branch.
What was he going to do with the branch?
First of all, I would have never got through the vent. And
Right.
and he's running back with it. And it was like, dude, that's so stupid.
Right.
You ran back to protect me by unprotecting me? Like, you just left?
You could have died.
Yeah.
And he was just gone. Aw. I would never leave you. I wouldn't.
What I don't understand is, if you're a homeless person,
Right.
why, if you have this whole asylum to live in, you live in the bathroom?
No, he was just going to the bathroom. I don't think the bathrooms work. It's abandoned, so I don't think he's flushing anything. Okay, it's done. So I'm gonna unplug everything, clean it up, strain it out, and then add the sauce, and then we'll come back to listen to the rest of the video.
Be careful, please. Think about everything.
It's new, so it's tight.
Say to yourself, what would Marshall do? Marshall step. Ask for help. Nice.
Alright.
And see me again, don't you want to be myself? But if I was anybody to help them, see me again, don't you come off myself.
Oh, you done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright. I'm back. And now we have everything mixed together. It doesn't look much different from the black bean. But I promise this is going to hurt. Alright. Okay. I think I'm going to finish this, but if I don't, I think I'm going to finish it.
If she doesn't finish it, then that means she's wasting food. And she's horrible for it.
Not horrible.
No,
Anyway.
I'll eat it.
Okay, so that was the first story. We've heard that Marshall would go cave exploring if it was with a group of people and a tour guide. I would never go, not even with a tour guide, because then we'll all get lost together and then we'll have to eat each other. So,
no,
that's not what I'm going to be doing. Because I always see those movies when like someone yells too loud and then an avalanche or of rocks happens, and then you all get blocked off.
Mm-hmm. I would eat you first.
I know. You tell me every day that you would eat me first.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so now we're going to get into the second story. Okay. Story 2.
I was 22 when this happened. Me and two of my friends, Miles and Ruben, have always been outdoor people. For as long as we've known each other, we've always liked being outside and doing things that involved a bit of risk. One of those things was caving. One of our favorite spots was a secluded cave system that was essentially a huge underground maze of tight spaces and tunnels. The entrance was in an area of forest that was just off a beaten track, which was...
Okay, sorry. I don't mean to pause it. I want to tell you guys my thoughts on it real quick, all mixed together. It's going to be uneven, I guess, because I just kind of squirted them all on there.
Oh my god.
And mixed it up. Alright.
For the gram.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What?
It's really good.
Yum yum.
Oh wow. It's so spicy. Yeah. It's good though. I like that the black bean kind of took it over though. Because I like the black bean flavor more. I'm gonna put my egg up here. Oh no, the yolk. Yeah. I'm gonna put my egg right over here. So it's never too far away from me. Yeah. Cool. Alright, let's get back into it.
A 10-minute walk from a gravel parking area where we usually parked. This time in particular, we decided to go out to the same cave system and try to explore some of the tunnels that we hadn't really been down before. Now, there weren't any drawn maps of the cave system, so instead we would use a set of rope that we attached to the entrance. We would take it with us as we went down, so that way we could easily find our way back up through the many different routes. We drove out to the gravel parking area. The place was empty, except for one car. It was a dirty white pickup. Though this wasn't unusual.
Not a
People used
dirty
the area
white
for hiking
pickup.
and other outdoor activities. As we got our stuff, I glanced over at it and saw that there was a man sitting in the driver's seat, just watching us, trying to be friendly.
Marshall's getting her cookie. Okay. You done? That's mine. That's my cookie.
And the dirty, crusty sugar cookies.
They're white chocolate chip.
Oh. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
They feel like sugar cookies. That's too hard for a sugar cookie.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any milk.
Mm-mm. No milk. Okay, just have my cookie, Marshall.
Yeah.
You're such a baby. Anyway. Back to the story. You're making this so hard to edit. I'm gonna have to edit this.
No.
And keep pausing it because of you.
I broke it.
Okay, thank you. I'll have my half a cookie.
Yours is bigger.
Because it's... Give me my bigger piece.
No.
It's my cookie. Anyway. Alright. Are we good? We can start?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I gave him a thumbs up as we walked past, but he didn't even react to it. It was a bit odd, but I tried to ignore it as we carried on towards the cave system. As we were setting up and getting ready to head down, I glanced over my left shoulder thinking I'd seen something in the tree line. I felt uneasy, but I brushed it off, chalking it up to nerves I would sometimes get before going into a cave. Anyway, the three of us went inside. There were a lot of narrow sections in the cave that took me by surprise, but nonetheless we were having fun. Eventually, we found this small area with a small waterfall. We all agreed to take a break and catch our breath. Afterwards, Right when we were just about to continue exploring the area, something happened. I had the rope in my hand, when suddenly I felt a sharp tug before it went completely slack. Confused, we all pulled on the rope, and our hearts sank.
No.
The rope was completely loose, meaning it was cut by someone or something. We all agreed the best course of action would be to head back up to the surface, something which, without a rope as our guide, now seemed close to impossible. We were going to have to remember the exact route we took. I've never been in such a frantic state. We took multiple wrong turns.
I know, you're getting
Trying to
saucy
all
and
turn
shit.
around in there is not the easiest thing to do.
That's fair.
But eventually, after what felt like days, we were all hit with a short wave of relief. We could now see the light from the surface, and a couple minutes later we were all out. But we were now again on edge. We desperately rushed to pack everything up. I was constantly looking around us for any sign of the person that cut our rope.
Right.
And just as we were finishing up, I saw them. There were around 6 people, including the man from the pickup in the parking area, all standing in the tree line. My eyes were still adjusting to the daylight, but I could tell each of them were holding long knives. Miles and Ruben saw them too. We all ran as fast as we could back to our car. For a while we didn't dare to look behind us. Back in the parking area, the pickup, now empty, was still the only thing apart from our car. We got in and got out of there. We haven't been back to that spot since. We still don't know who those people were. We never saw them again.
Oh my god. What would you do?
If the rope is cut?
You're down in a cave and you're using a rope to guide you back so you can go deeper in. And someone cuts it, and then when you get out, there's a bunch of people standing there with knives.
I would have never used a rope. I wouldn't have used the rope.
What do you mean?
I would have kicked, like, I would have made a line out of dirt. Or I would have made a line with my foot. Somebody had to drag their foot so you could see where we're going. That way, if they try to erase it, I mean, they'd have to be right behind us erasing what we just did.
Okay. But what would you do if you were using a rope?
Wait,
somebody cut it.
Somebody cut the rope?
Somebody cut the rope!
Okay, so?
What do you mean?
The rope still leads out there.
Well, I guess theirs didn't for some reason. They said that they had to find their way back because you don't know how far they cut the rope. If that makes sense. Because they went deep into the cave, I'm assuming, where there's turns and stuff. Mm-hmm. You know? So what if there was a point where the rope was cut and they couldn't, navigate back? You know? Like, what would you do? No, but not even that. Doesn't even matter. They found their way out, but once they got out, there were people with knives watching them from the tree line.
Maybe, they didn't see the sign that says no ropes.
Seriously, what would you do? Oh my gosh.
And there's people with knives?
Yes, you get out after your rope was cut by someone, and then you get out, and then you see a bunch of random people with knives staring at you.
I would take out my knife.
Oh, you have a knife.
Mm-hmm.
In your scenario, you have a knife.
And then I would walk up to the rope and cut it.
All right. Anyway, he don't know what he would do. That's all he had to say.
No.
Is that he don't know what he would do.
Woo, 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 woo. And then we would be like, yay!
Anyway, he don't have a plan. That's what he's saying.
They don't like ropes.
He doesn't have a plan.
So just assimilate.
Oh. Assimilation is his plan. I would just run. Cry and run. Story 3.
When I was maybe 12 or 13, my family and I moved from a busy city to a pretty middle-of-nowhere type of house in the woods.
Okay.
To give you an idea, the school I transferred to, which was the closest one, took about 25 to 30 minutes to drive to. Needless to say, the change was night and day. At that point in my life, I literally only ever lived in the city, so it was a big difference for me. However, I would get used to the change relatively quickly. Looking back, I think it was mostly just because I was a kid, and it sort of just gave me more free space to roam around. I don't really know how to explain it better than that. Anyway, not long after moving in, I would discover an old strip of abandoned mines in a section of forest that was only a couple miles from my house itself.
Right.
It had tons of abandoned mining equipment, tracks, caves, trails, and that kind of stuff. And, I mean, being a kid, this was essentially like finding a giant playground. I remember the next day at school, I told a few friends about it. Surprisingly, none of them had heard of it before. I really wanted to better explore it after school, and one of my friends, Jackson, agreed to go with me. Fast forward to the end of the school day, and we started walking over there. When we got there...
It's so spicy that, like, even the... I don't know how to explain it, but, like, just me inhaling while eating, it's like I'm choking on spice. I don't know how people take big bites of this.
And then you're like, oh, my tummy hurts.
I didn't even say that yesterday. What are you talking about? I didn't even complain about my tummy yesterday. I might now. Because this is different. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this. Yeah, this is... Wow. I'm going to knock my cookie over. This is very... It's a different type of spice than I'm used to. But it's so tasty, though. Like, I had... I had Marshall try this yesterday. He had the original one. Because I didn't want to give it... I didn't want to waste a black bean on him not liking it. Because I like the black bean. Yeah, the black bean flavor. Oh. So I gave him the original. And I made sides just in case he didn't like it. So he would still have something to eat. And... This boy is like, he's eating it, and he goes, oh, it's good. But then the spice hit him. He goes, oh my God, it's so spicy. And then he's eating it, almost crying, and his leg is shaking. He's like, And I'm like, just stop eating it. You don't have to finish it. He's like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. You made it. I was like, oh, poor baby. But, yeah. I'm feeling like Marshall right now.
You make it so spicy.
I don't make it so spicy. They make it so spicy. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know how people... Like, yesterday, I took a big bite and I was like trying it. Trying to do a big bite of it. I felt so anxious. I was like, why am I feeling anxious right now? You can see it in the video. I was like, Like, I couldn't really pinpoint why that feeling was like arising in me. I don't know. Yeah. All right.
Anxiety.
Let's keep going.
We quickly started checking out all the different equipment. It was honestly really cool to see. A lot of this stuff was actually still intact, but you could tell the stuff wasn't still in use. Things were rusty and just generally not in the best condition.
Right.
Eventually, Jackson suggested that we explore one of the caves. Initially, I was against it. They were pretty eerie. Looking inside, basically all you could see was a set of tracks that led straight into complete darkness. Plus, all we had for light were the flashlights on our phones, which really didn't light up much of anything. But regardless, I eventually agreed, so long as we didn't go so far deep to where we could no longer see the light from the entrance. Got to around 2 minutes into our walk into the cave, and we were now pretty far in. The daylight from the entrance was no longer really lighting up anything in front of us. I told Jackson we should probably turn back. He agreed, so we started walking single file back towards the entrance. Jackson was leading, and I was trailing him. Only a moment passed when Jackson said, "Whoa, who was that?" I looked up from the ground as we walked, but I didn't see anything. "Dude, I think I just saw someone. Why would anyone else be out here?" At first, I thought he was trying to scare me, but the tone of his voice was too genuine. He went on to explain how he saw a man walk from the left side of the entrance to the right. We both just stood there, intently staring towards the entrance of the cave. That's when a head peeked around the corner looking inside. Jackson and I both instinctively dived towards the side of the cave, hiding against the wall in the darkness. All we could do was hope that the guy hadn't seen us. He stood there at the entrance for a few seconds. We both had a clear view of his silhouette against the light outside. To our horror, the man started walking down the cave. As he did so, he started laughing in this disturbing manner.
Not a disturbing manner.
I looked at Jackson. The only thing I could make out in the darkness were his eyes. But from that alone, I could tell he was just as scared as I was. Whoever this man was clearly did not have good intentions. Or at least that's what I gathered from both his body language and the way that he laughed. The man continued to walk further into the cave. Meanwhile, Jackson and I continued to stay as quiet as we could, lying against the wall.
So he body
Once we got
language
closer,
shamed him
I could
and
make out what
laugh
he looked
shamed
like.
him.
He had short black hair, had on a black set of boots, and was wearing a dirty pair of overalls. I
Clothing
noticed he had
shamed
something in
him.
his hand, but I couldn't tell what it was. When he got even closer still, I realized it was a revolver. I could now hear my heart beating in my ears. Even being as young as I was, I vividly remember seeing life memories flashing before my eyes. The guy then got maybe 12 feet from where we were standing and stopped. He looked around for a second. I could see him squinting his eyes so as to see further into the cave. Then, by some miracle, he turned around and started walking back towards the entrance.
So he's
When
blind.
he got there, he turned right and was now out of view. It looked like he had kept walking, but Jackson and I both agreed we weren't going to take any chances. I mean, what if he really did see us and was hiding by the exit waiting for us to leave? It was about to be dark, and while being alone in an abandoned mine in the dark was a scary thought, potentially having to confront this man was more so. Naturally, within what was about around the next hour or so, it got completely dark outside, making everything in the cave even darker than it already was. Of course, we didn't have any service on our phones to be able to call for help. In our minds, we would have, in all likelihood, just been fine to walk home right then and there. But again, we did not want to take any chances with that guy still potentially waiting for us at the entrance. It would be long, but Jackson and I both agreed to wait until midnight. We figured by that point there was a small chance we'd run into any trouble. So that's exactly what we did. It was close to 5 hours of just sitting there in complete darkness, with the both of us still utterly terrified. When midnight finally came, we both got up and slowly started walking towards the entrance. We didn't dare to turn on the flashlights on our phones. Slowly, we creeped forward. Jackson was in front of me. We were now only a few steps away from the entrance, when out of nowhere, Jackson started sprinting. I was terrified. I didn't know what he saw, but I started sprinting as well just behind him. We went straight into a set of trees and in the direction of my house. After running for what felt like forever, my house finally started coming into view.
No.
Then I would begin to see flashing red and blue lights from multiple police cars.
Okay.
I saw an officer speaking to my parents. Jackson and I both frantically ran up to them with tears in our eyes and did our best to explain everything.
Okay.
Seeing the police cars really put into perspective for me how close we were to becoming the next missing person cases.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way our bodies would have been found in that cave.
Nope.
I'm sure of that. Over the next couple of weeks, police would search the abandoned mines and surrounding area for any sign of the man we described. However, their search would unfortunately yield no results. That man has yet to be found. From that day on, I chose not to go outside much, purely out of fear. If I did go somewhere, I would tell my parents exactly where, with the exact time I'd leave and be back. For those wondering, I later talked to Jackson about why he started running when he got close to the entrance of the cave. Disturbingly, he would tell me how he thought he saw the man crouch down. But again, it was dark. I'm not really sure how it's possibly could have seen that, so take it how you will. What I will add though, and something I never told anyone, including Jackson, was how, while we were running, I thought I heard a third pair of footsteps running behind us. Even to this day, I think back to that exact moment and try to decipher whether those were real footsteps I was hearing, or whether it was just my imagination.
Okay. First of all, I'm glad they're safe and they're fine. But rule of thumb, if anyone that's a minor is watching, never run back to your house. At least run to your neighbor's house.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Never run back to your house. They got lucky that the police were there. So, like, if there was a third pair of footsteps, then he got scared off by the police. But if that person was probably chasing them or close behind them, they would have just led that person straight to their house. And that person could be like, okay, I'll let you get into the house. I'll let you think you're safe. And I'll let you think you're fine.
How old
But
are
I'll
they?
be back. They were like 15 or something. They were minors.
2 15-year-olds? 2? 1 guy?
He's a grown man.
So, he can only take one of them. And then the other guy comes in for the kill. I mean, the punch.
No.
You probably could punch him in the nuts or something.
They're 15.
I don't know. These 15-year-olds, they don't grow the same. Like, there are probably some big 15-year-olds.
Well, this was back in the day, not now. What? This is around the time where kids actually went outside. What 15-year-old is going in a cave right now?
First of all, if that was me and Trey, we would have both been looking at each other like, I know you're not scared. I'm not scared. And then we would have just kept not scaring ourselves all the way out into the open. And then we would have had to fight that guy.
No. Well, this was at a time where I don't think a 15-year-old would even go in the woods now. Unless they're on TikTok. That man would have never followed them because they would have been on video. They were like, I can't get these kids.
Unless you're Jake Paul.
Jake Paul? That wasn't who did that. That was Logan. Right? Logan Paul.
Was it?
Filmed the guy in the woods.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
The Pauls. They wouldn't have fell for that.
I don't know, guys.
They would have been like, oh, I got some content now.
I think I'm done.
We pulled out an Instagram live or something. It was like, there's this killer and we're about to go see what's going on with him. Check in. Send your hearts.
Send your hearts. No, I think I'm done.
Now we're going to have to make a wig out of it.
A wig?
Mm-hmm.
A ramen wig.
Yeah, that'd be cute. If you made a ramen wig, you'd be on Vogue magazine. Because they'd be like, she's so brave. She's capturing how women have to live off of what they can. And, I don't know, I'm pushing it. I'm like, and they are struggling, but yet nutritionally.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I feel like you can make it work. If you give it a good enough prompt, you could put anything in an art room. You can put a fart in an art room if you give it a good enough... if you give it a good enough prompt. You know those little papers that you read that kind of tells you about it? Mm-hmm. It could be really bad, but if your little paper has good stuff on it...
Wasn't that real, the banana taped to a board? Was that a real art piece?
I never heard of it.
You never heard of the banana taped to the board?
That sounds like... It sounds
I
like
sounded
art.
stupid saying that. You never heard of the banana taped to the board?
I would definitely go to see that.
Yeah.
Is it still there?
I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it was like... Because people reference it like it's a real thing.
I mean, if I was to put a... I mean, I could see it. It's just one of those art pieces that evolve over time because your banana gets, like, ripe. And then what? Once it starts, attracting flies? Is that when they say you have to sell it or get out of here? Mm-hmm. And who's going to buy a stinky banana posted to a board?
I would. I would buy it. Yeah.
And it would be like, this banana symbolizes how the common man is always curved to do what's right in bad situations.
What?
In a plane of flatness.
What is your mind?
I'm just saying.
No, I like the, I told you, yeah. What was that, the art piece about the robot? Who has to clean up its own,
Oh, I showed you that.
Yeah.
Well,
I've seen it before.
That's art.
I've seen it before. Aw.
Squidward would be happy about that one.
I know, right?
You're like, that this is art.
Okay. Alright, yeah. I'm not finishing this. It was a fail. I didn't even really like the flavor. At some point, it got irritating to me how spicy it was. But I like the black bean alone. So, it was a fail. And it's just too spicy. It's way too much for me. So, I can't take the heat. Good thing I didn't make it a challenge. I would have failed a challenge. So, that's good.
I went to jail for that.
Alright. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe, or whatever you want to do. And I'll see you guys in the next one. It probably won't be spicy ramen because I don't think my body can take it.
Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're not pointing at me.
I was like...
But that's not where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Bye.